To be present, we must be intentional, and to bear fruit, we must feed the soul. You're listening to Pause, Sip, and Ponder. To another episode of Pause, Sip, and Ponder. I've missed being here. We didn't record for like a week, so we were talking about how it was really weird not seeing each other once a week. It made the week actually really long. So, but we're excited to be here. If you're new here, this is a podcast where we talk about everything and anything in the aim to give you some encouragement, some hope, some perspective. We learn from one another, we grow together. So I hope you get some value from this podcast. And again, we have my co-host here, Mary Rose, and she's the one actually preparing for today's episode. And we have an audience from Kelsey, with Kelsey and Mak today.
Boy.
It's really fun having live audiences, actually.
Yes, I agree.
It definitely like lessens the tension and just thinking we have to be professional all the time. But yeah, so this is going to be a fun episode. Mary Rose has prepared a travel segment topic, and it will also allow us to talk about casual things, and you'll learn more about us too. I think you can learn a lot about somebody from doing hobbies and activities like that. So yeah, Mary Rose, take it away.
Yeah, so I mean, traveling is probably one of our fun hobbies that we do. I mean, Pauline does it more than I do, but it's fun to talk about like our experiences with everyone, especially you guys can also take away a few stuff that we're talking about here if you guys are deciding to travel as well. So one of the questions I do have when you're, I guess, going on vacation or like being away from home, what would your like ideal like spot for going to like a vacation away from home?
I love answering travel questions.
Slay.
For me personally, and I enjoy the outdoors, and I love I'm not really crazy about having the most luxurious place. I'm all about experience. I'm all about nature. So anywhere where the mountains are, anywhere where there's nice trails, a nice view. I love the woods. I prefer like forest over like beaches and tropical places, just because I feel like when you're up in the mountains you can bundle up and then it'll get hot. When you're at the beach, like it's just too hot, and I'm like pretty cranky when it's just hot. But yeah, I feel so grounded in nature spots. So usually my friends and I, we would get like a tiny cabin or a cabin up in the forest somewhere, and then we'd like incorporate some type of activity where we do like hiking, do some homey things like cooking and like board games. So a lot of coziness. And then I love checking out coffee shops everywhere I go. So I will always do my go-to, which is like a chai tea. And I like compare it to any new coffee shop that I go to. And yeah, so I think just having those little like traditional, like, you know, my little traditions of just getting coffee and finding a new spot and like finding gems is really fun. So in any place I can just be surrounded by like my good friends and just be like carefree. I think that's probably my ideal type of trip.
Oh, no, I love that.
What
I think
about you?
for me, it would also be like in nature away from the city. Because like we kind of live in like a suburban city-ish area. So it's fun to take like a good drive up to the mountains and like enjoy nature and like the people around you.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's more like a private type of thing. So like there's like no distractions, so you're more focused with the people around you.
So it's like a getaway, like
Yeah. From everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Pauline was the one who like inspired me to be more outdoors and like enjoy nature.
Okay.
Because she's always inviting me to all these camping stuff, and she's making me love like being like in nature and like enjoying the things that are around me. For my next question, out of all the places that you've been like so far overall from your vacation stays, was there any one that you like adore the most and you would want to like go back to one?
Yeah. So for anyone who's like wondering, I'm not a world traveler. I haven't even visited the West Coast yet, but I think I used to like kind of like I don't know if pity's the word, but like I just feel like bad if like people were to ask me about my experience in traveling, but I'm like, but I haven't even like visited the West Coast, so am I really like a traveler or whatever? But yeah, but I've learned that there's adventure everywhere. Anywhere you can experience adventure, even if it's like 2 hours away. Most likely, some people haven't even seen it yet. So just because I haven't been to the West Coast, or if I've only been to like one to two countries, you know, outside or abroad, doesn't make me more or less of a traveler, I think. But anyways, I think the place that I love the most so far would be, uh, I would say the Philippines, or
Ooh.
Maine.
Ooh.
So I guess I would just keep it here in the East Coast because I've only been to the Philippines like once. And I was like yeah. So Maine, I just love. I see myself living there. Honestly, it's
Really?
like the coffee culture, the nature there, the forest. Like the trees are huge, and the water is like amazing. There's like little towns there. I don't know. It's just I find myself, and the way people dress there, it's just like everyone looks like they go to REI. Like, and I love going
What?
to REI.
Okay,
It looks
REI.
like everyone camps there. I
Mm-hmm.
love how eco-friendly they are. All of our Airbnbs that we stayed there, I stayed in a yurt. I've stayed in a tiny house, and I stayed in someone's backyard.
Oh,
Um,
what?
and
Okay.
they all had, and this might be like strange to some, but they all had not porter potties. They're called loos. So like it looks. You know when Shrek,
Hey, yo.
Shrek's loo, where like in the beginning of the
Oh,
movie,
no. It looks
like
like
she
that?
opens the door. Yeah. So it looks
Lord.
like that, and it's not disgusting. It may be weird to like people who are not really used to places that don't have indoor plumbing.
Mm.
But it was a good experience because you really learn like these are just essential things. You only need just like a simple bathroom. You don't need the most luxurious things, and you learn to clean up after yourself. You learn like why doing it this way is more eco-friendly, and like yeah. So I would say probably Maine just because of the new experiences, but the Philippines is just a whole different thing. Like you're way across the world. The
Mm.
culture is different. Although we are Filipino, we were born in America, so the things that I learned from customs to their traditions to their day to day, their simple life, but also they live in like paradise. So
Mm.
um, I think just comparing those two, I think what's similar and stands out is just how simple life is, and I think our life is just very chaotic sometimes, and
Mm.
so being able to just enjoy the simple things in life, if a trip can remind you of that,
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the best trips you can go on. So
No, yeah,
yeah.
even though like we haven't, explored the world as much, there is a lot to do like on the East Coast and like
Mhm.
places to visit and there's different experiences.
Yeah. What
So
about you?
I think I don't really, I don't really
Well, you're
explore.
kind of new to
I'm
traveling, so
new, but
yeah.
I guess for me, I mean, I guess I would say for my birthday, that one
Yeah.
Airbnb we had like away from like people, and it was just like us in a house, and it was dark. It was kind of scary,
Yeah.
but the company was super sweet, and I guess the way that the environment was really made my birthday experience and having to host an Airbnb more sentimental and more fun in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So I just loved how it was just secluded from everyone else.
Yeah.
And it was just like our own little world. And so we had to like drive to go hiking and things like that.
Yeah.
But hopefully I'd want to travel more.
Yeah.
Maybe like, I mean, Polly talks about North Carolina a lot. So I'm like, girl.
OBX. Yeah,
Yeah. How was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So where I have traveled, I think I've traveled to every East Coast state.
Oh, dang.
Mostly just driving. I've only flew in a plane twice in my life, technically, to Florida and to the Philippines. Why? I don't know. Maybe I'm just like I'm scared of the planes. Whatever. I'm not really scared of planes, but I love road trips, especially with the people that you go with. So yeah, North Carolina is probably my most favorite beach so far on the coast. And I love the Outer Banks, and I've watched the Outer Banks. To anyone who's
Oh,
watched it, let me
girl.
know if you kept up. But I love the Outer Banks because the Outer Banks is surrounded by water. It's basically a peninsula. So anytime you want to go to see the sunrise, you just go on one side. The what is with this wind?
Dang, they want to be part of the podcast. It's
Um,
like, nah.
and if you want to see the sunset, you go on the other side. It's just chill. It's chill. It's probably the closest thing we have to like California. I mean, Florida's kind of like a different vibe, but like it's so chill. But yeah, I've noticed that I've probably visited every state, which has been really fun, and it's definitely a privilege to be able to do that. I would say not everyone is able to have that, but what I can say now to anyone who like aspires to even travel, there is adventure 2 hours away from you. It just really depends on like if you're willing to, if you're willing to go through it, and willing to, if you're able to find the best people to go with. Of course, you don't really necessarily want to go there for your first time by yourself, but yeah, like there's places near us that look like nothing from our home, that me and my friends have discovered through just searching.
Oh.
I think that's also the fun thing about traveling for me is like finding gems and no one really knows. Like I used to take a lot of pride in like my itineraries and all the things that I would find. I would spend hours on going on Google Maps and finding just the smallest thing, and then just using that, and then just putting that on my itinerary. So yeah, I think that it's always fun to just like make it your own type of trip. Yeah.
Mm.
Question from the audience.
Ooh,
Okay.
audience.
I
Oh,
have,
gosh.
Like, write them.
Okay, Kelsey.
Alright, for someone who is prone to staying indoor,
Oh.
what would you say to them to make them go out more?
Go out
Just
now. It's like, no, I'm kidding.
Because I would lock myself in my room. Play
Really?
Sims for like 2 weeks. Pauline had witnessed
What? Oh, wait, you know what you should do? You should go on YouTube and just search, like, cool places to travel. And then, like, you can see what their itinerary is, and maybe it inspires you to, like, go out, maybe. Because that's what I find myself doing sometimes on TikTok is, like, 5 secret places in Maryland you've never seen
Yeah.
before. I was
Oh
like,
yeah, I've searched a lot of those
Yeah.
websites, those articles. There's a lot of cool things in there, and people take time, like sometimes for free. Like you're lucky if you find a free website with people telling you where these things are. Some people make
Yeah.
you pay just to find these spots that you could literally find by yourself.
Exactly.
But I think for someone who desires to go out but is more of an indoor person, you have to ask yourself why. Why do you choose to stay in your room every day?
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like,
Yo,
I could easily
that's
say you
true.
should just go out, but it's like there's always something, right? Like the reason why it took me so long to like travel is because there was things at home that prevented me from going out, like whether it be like fear of like leaving, or fear of some financially, like you have a fear of spending money or investing in trips, or you have a fear of new experiences, or like it's gonna be a whole new type of group, like
yeah.
demographic that I'm gonna experience. Like the most beautiful places I've gone through, probably like the most dominantly white places, and of course, as
All
an Asian
right.
person, that's gonna be a little uncomfortable sometimes, just because but you just have to get over that fear and those things that may be hindering you. I feel like it's a lot of fear that prevents people from going out, or just like not wanting to get out of your comfort zone. So if you're not willing, like if you want, we always have desires, we always have wants, but if you don't have like a desire to change or a desire to like at least get a little uncomfortable, then you're never gonna do it. You know what I mean?
You can, I maybe can say like, you can turn that fear into curiosity
Yeah.
in a way. Because, of course, like, it can be scary, but like, what if like I want to feel like that fear of being scared and how curious it would be like just to be there. So you can turn it into curiosity.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh my gosh, and that just reminds me of our trip together to New York.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
That was
Lord.
fun.
Oh, that's so
Oh
funny.
my
That was so
gosh.
much fun, though.
Yeah, so me and Mary, we went to New York, just us. And this was, I feel like, a very significant trip for us
Yeah.
and individually, because this was my first time going with someone else, technically without parents, without any supervision. And I'm the one kind of like hosting the whole thing. I've been there before, but like I was with like a group of people, but it was just us, like two little girls,
Yeah, I
going
think
to New York.
because Pauline was like, "Oh my God, hey, let's go to New York together." I was like, "Okay." We were like 18, 19 years old, and then she's like, "Okay, let's find Airbnb. Okay, I'm gonna get the bus." I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
So it was definitely because we were so young, so we didn't know like.
And I think that was your first trip
Yeah.
without parents. Like I've traveled a little bit before, sort of. Not really. I mean, I don't even think I had a car that time.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like if I had a car, we would have went through driving. But
Yeah.
you've never traveled without your parents, and that was your first time.
No.
Do you think that like kind of also stirred your curiosity in like getting out into the world from that trip?
I think so, because there was some type of like independence that we had, and we were the ones who were creating our own itinerary, figuring out like where we want to go. So there was a lot of freedom into like doing that, just me and you. And it was like, I'm glad that it was Pauline because I don't know of how it would be with anybody else. With the amount of experience Pauline has, like traveling, creating itineraries. So thankfully, that was so much fun though. It was just me and you.
We did a lot.
Yeah.
We got a lot done. We didn't spend that much either.
No,
to
we
be honest.
didn't,
I don't think
yeah.
I went shopping at all on that trip. Mary definitely did.
Nope. That's what's up. That's what's up.
But it was just really fun. Like I think it is that we're like stepping out of our comfort zone, even if like our parents are like super protective at the time. Like we also kind of proved, not only them, but we proved ourselves that like we are able to handle ourselves. We are able to plan. We are able to protect ourselves, you know, find a place to stay.
Yeah.
We stayed in a pretty nice, I mean, it was like weird because it was just a room, but like
Yeah.
it was really nice.
It was
really
nice.
safe.
Yeah, it
And
was super
we took
safe.
the bus for the first time by
Oh,
ourselves. We took the
yeah.
train
We did
by
take the
ourselves
bus.
for, you know, by ourselves. And I think that's just such a huge accomplishment, to be honest, being able to do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking back at it now. Why did they let us go? I'm just like,
really surprised they let us go.
just like, oh, you're gonna. There's like no or anything.
Yeah.
But I guess like maybe that was like some sort of trust or like the fear of
The parents had to trust
parents.
us,
Yeah.
too. And we were out of high school, and so like I think they had to. And plus, we grew up together, so that, you know, if it was somebody else, I think they'd be a little bit
Yeah, because it's us.
skeptical about it.
So we've been knowing each other forever, so it's
Aw.
okay.
That
It was fun. I'm like, we should do another trip together.
Yeah, we should.
Why not? Let's
Without
go to.
Mock, without Gil.
No, you're right. I'll drive this
That was
time.
fun. That was fun.
No, that was super fun. I honestly totally forgot about that.
Wow.
Woo! I thought you were gonna talk about the other
Gonna
trip we went to New
forget
York.
One of the best trips.
No, I have it on my vlog. If you want to check that out, you know. Okay, let's do another question.
At one point.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it was
yeah.
about like 2 years. So of course, like I had to get out because the time that I leave my caregiving job, I'm at school or I'm at this other job, and I come home because I also live at my job as a caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my best friends, Bailey, which you guys seen on my podcast, she was a big part of my travel journey. we would literally, because my schedule was weird at my caregiving job. Like, it was very hard for me to even call off.
Aw.
So I would even like risk and just leaving at 3 a.m. in the morning just to catch sunrise in the mountains, and then I come back for my shift. And like, to some that'd be like, to me now, like at my age right now, and like where I'm at in my life, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so extra. But like, I needed that. Like, that was my only space and time to like get out into the world and to get out of working, to get out of like our like not unnecessary things, but the things that just like weigh us down sometimes. And so it did start off with just running away from my problems and just having a breather. And then it eventually turned into like, okay, well, my problems didn't change when I came back home. You know what I mean? Life is still the same. I still deal with the same people. I don't like that cycle, you know. So I began traveling for just one as a breather. Sometimes I do it to run away, but like, but I also use it as an opportunity to grow. So like, that's why I always bring a journal with me. What did I learn? Like, why has this trip helped me? You know, because separating yourself, it allows you to look at life with a new lens. So rather than being in the same place all the time, like we are at home, you only think about one thing and one perspective. But when you get out, or when you have like a travel buddy, you're able to gain new perspectives. And then you come home not as stressed, not as disappointed, not as like mad. So yeah, so now I look forward to traveling because I know that I will learn something. Something I could take back home. You know?
It's. I'm glad that you thought of it that way, because I never thought of it to be I mean, it's kind of an escape from like everything, but in a way, we're taking the time to ourselves to think about. I guess think about to process it, and then once we come back with like a more matured mind, we know how to maybe even change our life cycles and think about them differently when we come back to, I guess, reality in a way.
For sure.
Yeah. That's actually my next question. Like, what's the importance of being outside of your home? So, which is I think that's pretty good too.
Yeah. And, yes?
It's black?
Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's still recording.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I didn't know.
It's okay.
Scared me.
It's on her phone too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he had a question. Bruh.
If you have a question.
Is it turned off or not?
No, it's good. So I actually read something where in a perfect world, if money was not an issue, traveling for everyone is highly recommended, because that's the only way for you to, like I said, see life in a different lens. Also, people wouldn't be as judgmental if they traveled more, because they're able to gain perspective from different cultures. And so people are more willing to understand and have empathy and to process things and to think about things, as to staying in a confined place for so long. That's all you ever know, right? Like if someone is confined to their home and is always sheltered growing up, like they're eventually just gonna like, you know, explode or never learn anything at all. And so what was the question? Like, is it important?
Like, it's important to be like outside of your home, because I was gonna say I think maybe people would feel too comfortable in their house at the point where they don't want to go out anymore, and they're just accepting the faith, like, okay, I'm gonna stay here forever. But eventually, like, it's good to be outside, like out of your home, getting out of that like 9-to-5 lifestyle, and just like looking at the mountains and smelling the fresh air.
For sure. So, and I feel like you'll also never know what you might like. You know what I mean? Even if like you try something new. Like, I loved how you had your friends at your birthday try hiking.
Oh yeah.
And of course, you just have to accept that not everyone will like hiking.
Yeah.
Some people will end up like hiking. Will end up liking hiking.
Bars.
But you won't know until you try, right? So it's like, I would never know that I like some type of food if I never went out to even try it. Like I would have never known. So yes, I highly recommend that you get out of your space because you might incorporate a new hobby. You might learn something about yourself. You might learn about what you really don't like, you know? So that's why I suggest trying new things. Yeah. Because if you're not trying new things, then you're not growing. Which is completely up to you.
Yeah, that's up to you guys if you want to grow, I guess.
If you want to. But the world is your oyster, to be honest. And like I said, it doesn't have to be somewhere across the world. Like it can happen 3 hours away from you. Yeah.
Yeah, there is lots to do. Like where the state that we're in Maryland, it seems like we've explored everything, but it was just in our county. So once you like reach out towards different places in Maryland that you've never even heard of before, you're gonna realize how big like your state is and the things that you haven't experienced yet. So there's definitely more to life and like more to the world that you can definitely check out. So go on the map and search some random places.
Yes, Google Maps.
Yeah.
Is my best friend.
Go on TikTok, search
Honestly,
fun
yeah,
places.
I gotta get. I don't have TikTok, but I look at TikToks on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, the Instagram reels.
Stuff on there, free stuff, like free info on like these cool places. But also, I encourage you to find things that are not mainstream too.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess, do you have any more questions? I also have some follow-up questions.
Oh, you can do follow-up. I think that's.
Or some questions.
They're more towards Airbnb, but you can. I want to hear your follow-up questions.
So for you, now I just forgot it.
States, spread it yourself, world.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we talked about kind of like geographically, like what our ideal vacation is like. So, usually you want to bring things that help you feel comfortable. Like you always want to, are you an overpacker? Are you an underpacker? What are the things that you like to bring on your trips?
Ooh, I'd say I think I overpack a little tiny bit.
And I think you learn over time that like, oh, okay, maybe not to pack.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, since I guess traveled or packed a good amount of times, that I realized, oh, okay, I don't have to pack this.
Yeah.
But I mean, the main things I would bring is definitely. I mean, I want to bring like if I have my film camera with me, I want to bring like my camera, Polaroid cameras, like my electronics. Anything, and also my bullet journal, so I can like keep like some memory keepsakes, like maybe a receipt, a sticker, for where I want to be, so I have that memory with me and then I can look back at it. But I think definitely my camera, so then I can make some memorial like videos from like my adventure and maybe think like, oh, maybe I should go like somewhere else again, blah blah blah, and just like look back at it whenever I feel nostalgic about like the past and things like that. How about you, Miss Pauline?
Yeah, I used to overpack as well. I think I've learned a lot through camping. So camping is also another form of the travels that I enjoy, finding new campsites and trying to do it like in every state. And so, yeah, I've learned that I've overpacked before and that I only need what I need. I don't need 3 extra pairs of clothes. Because most likely, like, you're not going to have time to change if you have a full day of activities. You're not going anywhere fancy, so there's no need to impress anybody, to be honest. If you have, like, a good, solid group that doesn't care about how you look, doesn't care that you might smell at the end of the day, but it's fine. You know, people who just you feel comfortable with, you won't feel the need to, like, impress, right? So those are the best type of trips. So I've learned to not overpack and just to bring what I need. I love bringing my Polaroids with me and a journal. I always try to take time to journal throughout my trip or at the end of my trip to reflect to the things that I learned. And yeah, for documentation, so I can like share it with my children when they get older. What else do I bring? A book. I always bring a book. do I finish it? No, but I read a few pages, and that would just also force me to just be mindful, because it's so tempting for us to look at our phone. Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. I've limited my time on my phone on my travels, and I've learned that I can post it later. I don't do it all the time. I used to be more strict on myself, but like, for instance, I will take pictures on my camera first, and then I don't look at it till the end of my trip. That's like one of the things that I do, because I used to be like, take pictures, scroll through, I don't like it. Like, you just wasted 2 minutes of where you could have enjoyed the scenery, you know what I mean? And Gil has taught me that, because he's not a phone person, a social media person, and it was hard to accept at first. But it's like, I want to, like, let my friends know.
Yeah,
like,
that's a habit.
Like, dude, you're not going to get this again. Get off your freaking phone. You know? So yeah, I've learned that along the way. And that to cherish the moment. Like, I will try to keep my phone away, especially if I have company. Like, you won't have that time again. Yeah. So I've learned to do that. And yeah, I think, and I also try to bring, like, a face mask or something if I, like, do, like, self-care.
Boys,
I've done face
like
mask camping. Like, yeah, it's just like little stuff like that. It's really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, like, looking at the pictures at the end of the trip, because I think it's more memorable, since, like, now that the trip is all over, it's not like you can go back to the same place and, like, take another picture, because it won't be the same once you, like, look at that picture and try to take it again. So that's making it more, like, sentimental in a way. I like that idea.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the things that I've learned from it. Do you have any other questions?
I think that
Fun.
towards more like Airbnb.
Sure.
Fuck. For one,
I love Airbnb.
let's see.
Sponsor us, please.
Boy, I wish.
Actually, that's my new birthday. Like, if
anyone asks
me what I want for my birthday, I just want Airbnb gift cards.
Yo, I got you.
That's it. That's literally all I want.
Ooh.
Nothing else.
That's that. Hey, yo, Airbnb sponsor us. That's such a good idea. So then when you like, I'm going to use all of them. Yeah. Dude. I mean, I'd say for Airbnb, specifically towards the hostess that actually, like, host you guys in their homes, do you create, like, a sort of relationship with them, like, get to know them in order to enjoy your stay anyway, or you just, like, talk to them?
Well, so when I book a place, I guess we could just talk about, like, what we look for in a Airbnb.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you're going to. So if we're going to a place where it's like a camp area type of place, so like tiny cabins or stuff like that, I look for, like, do they have pots and pans, like, so we don't have to think about bringing that stuff. Do they have toiletries, stuff like that, a bathroom, comfy beds, a place to sit, a nice view. Those are really the only things that I really care about. So it really depends what type of vacation you're looking for, like, how much are you willing to, like, work? Yeah. And so relationship wise, no, not necessarily. I don't really, because you're not gonna see them.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. But I like to, like, look at the reviews.
Oh, true.
It kind of, and see their responses. That gives me a clue of, like, what type of hosts they are and how they interact with their guests. I love leaving reviews, like lengthy reviews for hosts, for their benefit and also the benefit of future guests. But no, I don't think I necessarily create a relationship. The only time that I kind of felt like, oh, like, this was really cool. I did a painting at a tiny cabin because their backyard was a mountain, and I just wanted to do a cute activity. And I personally didn't like how the outcome was. Aww. So I was like, oh, I'll just leave it here. Maybe they'd want it. If they don't want it, they can throw it away. I said that too. I was like, you can have it if you want. And they loved it, and then they offered us a free stay. And so I'm like, oh, sure. Okay. I was like, maybe I should do this a little bit more often. But I think that's, like, the closest thing that I had. But there's one experience I do have with a specific host. When I was in Maine, I reserved a someone's backyard, which it was a campsite, but it was literally just a bed
Wait,
of
what?
dirt surrounded by woods, and her backyard, her land was connected to a waterfall. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Whoa.
And it was so hidden. Like, I'm talking about like leave no trace behind. Like, you can't even tell
Like
if it's-
people were there.
if people were there, and if it's even an Airbnb spot.
What?
And there's still people from the public like going to this waterfall, but she has property on that. So it was really cool.
Yo, that's cool.
So going there, it was already it was weird, cause and this is us privileged city people. So we came in, and she's tending at her garden. She has a beautiful, like, it looked like Up, like the house from Up,
Oh,
kind of like
that's
that. She had a tiny house like
cute.
that.
Oh my god.
She had a yurt that was filled with, I think she made like her own medicines and stuff.
Oh.
And then she had a greenhouse. And then she had a Volkswagen van, like a
What?
travel van. I was like, oh my gosh, this lady is like me. She had like beautiful, like, salt and pepper hair. She was like maybe like in her 60s.
Whoa.
She had like tattoos. Like, she looked like a boho chick for real.
Dude.
And so we walked in, because she was like, she texted us like, yeah, when you're here, just let me know. And we like walked up to her. She didn't say anything. She didn't say hi. She didn't do any of that.
Oh.
And then she finished what she was Gil and I were just like, just waiting, right?
Oh.
And then she finished what she was doing. She's like, hi. And then it took like a good 2 minutes, like a good minute. And that's a long time if you're standing so close to a person. And we're like, okay, that was kind of weird. But then she showed us her garden. She showed us almost everything around her place. She talked a little bit about her history and traveling, where she's been, where she's lived. Like, she's single. She's by herself. And then she eventually let us back, and we had like the best time. We like showered in the fresh water
That's so cool.
waterfall, had it all to ourselves, woke up to that. And anyways, what I learned from that is like, we expect people to cater to us.
Oh, okay,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
No, yeah,
And that's what I learned on that trip. Like, we expected her to come to us and be like, hi, how are you? Like, be super like
cheery
and like, but no, she was literally so intentional. She needed to finish what she needed to do in that garden.
Mm-hmm.
We are rude for us to interrupt her in that activity she had.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is like a something I learned in one of my trips from these hosts, like the different personalities. She's probably the one that stood out the most. And we found her YouTube channel, and she had,
She's
like,
a YouTuber? What?
she's not a YouTuber, but like I was like, she has to be doing something. She does like healing like activities, and like she was just super cool and down to earth. But she was a woman with very little words, and like sometimes that's okay. You know what I mean? You don't need to be she was definitely not a people pleaser, and so that's what I learned. Like, you don't need to be a people pleaser all the time, you know.
That's true. And we have to usually remember that we're not in our home, we're like in someone else's place.
Exactly.
So we'd have to like respect what they're doing, and like I guess be more aware of what we're doing than like them being aware of what we're doing in a way, because it's like kind of trespassing, but like they're allowing us in their home type of way. It kind of shows their like their vulnerability to like opening their homes to other people, and like trusting others that they'll like
that's a lot.
respect their boundaries and things like that. So I mean, I guess a lot of these hosts are putting a lot on the table just for us to like stay at night and enjoy nature, things like that. So that lady seems really nice though.
She's going well. Like, she had like almost 1,000 like reviews on her Airbnb.
So she's been doing this.
But she was so humble. Like, she was so cute. Yeah. What about you? Your birthday was your first Airbnb booking. How was that experience for you, it being your first?
I think at first it was a bit stressful in a way, because I've been like doing like planning for months. So like the Airbnbs that I wanted to do before, they kept getting booked during that week that I wanted us to be there, or it was too way like out of my budget. But luckily, when I found the Airbnb that we had for the weekend, the ladies were really nice. I mean, it was their first time doing Airbnb, so I was pretty surprised on their hospitality. I mean, like through the messages and things like that. So they weren't too, I would say, strict, since we were like the first few guests to be at their Airbnb place. So I mean, communication was pretty good. So like, hopefully, I mean, maybe in the future we'll go back, because I actually enjoyed like how friendly they were. So I'm like, so I can be like, oh my god, I'm gonna recommend this to my friends, and then I want to go back, and then maybe like I'll bring my family, because now my family's like, can we go where you went? I'm like, what? I guess I'm not paying that. Y'all can pay. So I mean, I'm glad that we can bring more like people with our reviews to give them more traction, because I mean, the Airbnb was really nice.
For sure.
It was something I was looking for, since I wanted to have like high ceiling like cabins, make it feel like homey and personal. So it was pretty perfect. Like even the size, it looked small, but when you go in there, it's like huge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I loved it.
That's good. I'm excited. I hope you are able to get more opportunities to. I mean, it's money, bro.
Yeah.
It's money. That's why, like, oh. But it's like, for me, what I've learned is like you can still have a fun time even on a low budget. You just gotta plan accordingly. Like, I've had the best trips with just camping, choosing to just camp at a campsite rather than get a whole rental when I could have. But like, I was able to see more things because of that money that I've saved. So it really depends. Like, if people are willing to pitch in, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm learning is like, don't let money limit you from having a great time.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it's also definitely the people who you invite to these things, especially if it's something different, or if they're maybe not used to being in nature, or like doing like camping activities, because I do have friends that I was wanting to invite, but at the same time I had to think about, okay, maybe I don't know if they'll like enjoy these kind of things, because I enjoy these kind of things. Why, you got some?
Yeah, like, well, okay, so I've just been able to like travel a little bit more. So yeah, when going on travels, I guess we could do tips, right? So tip is to be very careful in who you bring with you on your trips, and you learn that over time. You also learn who your real friends are through trips too.
Hey yo. I don't even know what that means. So okay.
Because I mean, at first in the beginning, of course, you want everyone to come with you, but over time, you don't want to bring everyone with you because you'll get different experiences. And I've had my fair share in having company that was just not a good fit in terms of like the type of travel. Like, just say like someone's not very an outdoorsy person, but they want to tag along. Don't expect them to be completely what's the word? Like completely invested in what you guys are doing in your itinerary.
True.
So I'd rather pick people who are like, you know, not as complacent, people who are willing to do things, even if it may not be your first choice, right? But you willing to even just try, I think is a really good, you know, indication that you're going to be great to travel with. I love traveling with people who love having open conversations. And that's, I feel like on road trips, it's a lot of opening up and vulnerability. And so accountability happens within that car. And so we will just like spill out everything, even about our flaws, even about like, you know, everything about us. And it helps people feel safe. So I enjoy that as well. So yeah, just be really choosy with who you pick. Not necessarily meaning that you don't have to be friends with them or anything. It's just like, there's a time and place for everything, you know? And you also want to save them the stress.
True.
Like, you definitely don't want to bring them hiking up a mountain when they are not, they're not into that completely. Like, there's nothing wrong with not liking to hike, but you definitely want to save yourself the stress.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, because like there might be people they might change the experience from the way that they're reacting.
Yeah.
So I guess.
And you got to be open to that too as a
Yeah,
host.
I gotta be open to that as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. We can wrap up on this episode. That was fun.
Yeah, this was super duper fun. I liked talking about our travel experiences. And
Yeah, guys, so that's it for today's episode. Thank you, Mary, for such a wonderful topic. I love talking about travel.
yeah.
It gets me eager to do something again.
Now I want to travel. Let's go
right?
travel.
Gotta look at those PTO.
Hey, yo.
PTO numbers.
Need to use them numbers, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, and hopefully you learned a lot about us. Just topics like this, you get to really learn more about a person and what they're into, and so hopefully that gave you a little bit more insight of who we are. And yeah, so if you haven't already, please go join us on Discord, which Mary Rose has helped a lot in. Basically, it's a place where accountability happens, growth happens, and so I try to at least once a month just to come in and just give you guys pondering questions. It's a place where you can also study with other people, and yeah, it's just a really cool place where we can just talk amongst each other. And then we also have our mindfulness journal out there. I'm also thinking of putting out planners, digital planners as well, because I've designed them for friends, and so they've told me good experiences with them. They've had good experiences with them, so yeah, maybe putting out some digital planners for my iPad users. Sorry, anyone else who doesn't have it.
Yeah. iPad.
I suggest that you do get one though. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to tell anyone, even on your end, of what you're doing? Guys, she's been keeping up with her weekly vlogs.
Oh, Lord.
The consistency.
Lord, I'm back on track though. Yeah, guys. I have weekly vlogs every Monday at 11. If you guys want to check that out on my channel.
As she looks right now, you should probably check them out.
Dude, it's
a lot.
It is a lot. And then, I mean, I do have like my student org stuff. So there's Buzz FCA if you guys want to check that out. I'm doing a lot of like production. I haven't touched anything. Oh my god. But there's a lot of content there, so definitely sub.
Yeah.
Yeah, sub to this channel, this YouTube channel, when this goes up on YouTube. Boy!
Yeah, also an update. I mean, it's not necessarily information you need to know, but Anchor has been fully bought by Spotify.
Yeah.
So it's no longer Anchor. I'm not really sure how it will be for if you guys want to donate to our podcast. I'm not really sure how that works exactly, but it is now called Spotify for podcasters. Yes. So I'm gonna have to look at it later, and we'll put more information. So if you guys really love content like this, it does us great help if you were to help and just sharing whatever you can to help fund for fun episodes like this. And we are aiming, and I have to talk to Mary about this too.
Oh, what?
I am aiming to host an event spring or summertime.
Oh wait, we talked about that.
Yes.
I got you.
Where I'll just share with our ideas of having like a mindfulness day, also a place maybe we'll have a live podcast session. I have a coworker in mind that will be more than willing to help us with that, where she does self-massage techniques and meditation sessions. She did letters to younger self in her sessions, and so
that's fun.
I really want to do that so we can also connect with you guys in person, anyone who is local in the DMV.
Yes.
It'll just be really fun. I feel like we just need an in-person Pause Sip and Ponder event. So if you want to have that, please help us out in funding.
Yeah, guys.
Honestly, we don't do ads. Honestly, this is really a listener-driven podcast. We don't do anything giving you ads that we don't believe in or anything, or promoting any other products other than our own. So
Mhm.
yeah, I hope you guys are willing to do that.
No, yeah. So make sure you tell your friends,
Tell your
donate, give us some
Share
money.
us on Instagram.
Yeah, share on Instagram, Spotify, Anchor. Hey, yo, have y'all heard this podcast before? Yeah, take a listen. Come on now.
Yeah,
So we would
If you
love
want.
it. Yeah.
if you want.
But you have to.
If you want, but you have to. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you gained value from it and learned something new. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to always love
Always be
and
curious.
to always
Ponder. Bye, guys. I should know this right now.
You should tattoo it on your forehead.
Boy, I get on my chest.